What's the status of Hiron White?
Hiron's great. Hiron, not trying to put his personal life out there, but he just had a kid, so he's been. I think it was, I don't know what the day is, Sunday or Monday. So he'll be back. He may be back tomorrow, but he's health-wise, he's good. There's no issues, and we're excited for him and excited to get him back soon.
And then Charles hasn't practiced the last couple days?
Yeah, Charles is fine. He's had a light concussion from last week, so there's nothing. I think by next week he'll be back out there, hopefully.
Doesn't sound like Hiron will do a full paternity leave, but it gives you a chance to look at PJ out there at right tackle. What have you seen maybe from him since the start, and then kind of get the chance to?
It's actually worked out well because Hiron had a light ankle roll from the scrimmage last Friday, so he's kind of healing that up. And then PJ missed the first few practices, so he's kind of making up. And so going with the ones at right tackle has been good. I mean, if you watch PJ move, his athleticism is obvious, but he's young. So just getting those reps against, the best we have on defense is only going to make him better, and it gives us a chance to see him for a couple days in that role and see how he would handle it.
What about Kiki Burns? A lot of housekeeping stuff happening.
Yeah, fair enough. I probably should start off and just check them off. So Kiki is in a similar boat to what Kamar and Teddy and now Jahari Rogers are in, just from an academic standpoint. Kiki's is a little different because he's about to graduate. So he's set to graduate if he can, and as you get closer to graduation, those classes get a little bit harder. So he's really focusing that time on that because I think he's set to graduate in May, I believe, May or August, depending on how he does. So we've just kind of, in the spring, you don't want to do that, but you can do that when you need to try to make sure that we focus on what's most important, which is getting that degree.
Obviously, Kamar and Teddy are back. Status for Jalen's situation?
Yeah, I'd say Jalen's is still in process, so not really a whole lot to update either way there. As far as Kamar and Teddy being back, like I said, Teddy was gone for several weeks, Kamar the first few, and there's still work to be done there, but they've at least demonstrated that, the progress is going in the right direction. So, we felt like it was only fair to let them get back before we get out of spring, and it's kind of a week-to-week basis right now with those guys.
The last couple of years, we saw Preston kind of act like a starter, the way he was running things, and now he is. What have you seen now that he actually is?
Yeah, and that's different. You can say it all you want. It's different, I think Preston's been good. I think, I don't think he feels any different, like feel or pressure right now. We're not playing games. But it's a different feel. And Kevin's been playing really well too, so those guys, they help push each other. But I think the more reps he can get, the better. The reality of it is, even though he's been here 2 years, and even though his limited action in games has been positive, he's still very limited in terms of experience and reps. And I'd like to think we're a lot better on defense right now, so that's good for him in practice. And like I said, you'll see him consistently make plays like he did at times today. And then the thing he's got to get with reps is the bad plays can't be disasters. And that's something that comes with experience, is guys with talent like Preston that are really aggressive, and we want him to be that way. Early on, it could be feast or famine, and we don't want that. We want it to be, hey, just do your job, play within the offense. We should have good playmakers for you to get the ball to. And then when you have chances to make plays, make them. But, your bad plays can't be disasters, and I think that's what spring and fall camp is intended for. And so I thought he's done a really good job. His leadership, his attitude, our guys are starting to take on that personality, which is a good thing.
Ahmad Moses just seems to make a play every practice. What have you seen from him in a group that, there's tons of competition there?
Yeah, Ahmad has a really good spring. We felt like Ahmad, he played a little bit more towards the end of the year. We knew he'd hit you last year, but he was still a freshman. He's starting to understand how to play safety and how to play the defense. He had a pick six today, and I think he's had several lately. So he's not just a guy who can blitz off the edge or tackle and hit people hard. He's doing a really good job there. And I think Scott and Coach Coop have done a really good job with those guys. We've got 3 safety positions, and so they've also been moving around, like him and McGill, and Isaiah's back now. And so, just moving those guys around, Massey back there, I've been really pleased with really our entire secondary, but the safeties in particular.
Depth kind of seems to be a big trend for this group. Kind of hope that coming in with the guys you brought, just what have you seen that be able to do, kind of like you just said, moving those guys around? And
Yeah, I think depth does a couple things. One, it creates great competition, which helps everybody raise their level. Y'all come on, all good. In case y'all didn't know, we're off on the first floor. So the depth is good. It creates good competition, makes everybody better. But what we want it to be is not just competition where if you maybe are your 1A or you're the second guy, you're not playing. We want to be fresh. Defensively, defense is all about running the football and tackling. And the longer you're on the field, the more tired you are on a drive in a game, that usually gets worse. So if you have enough guys you can cycle through, D-lines do it a lot, but linebacker, corner, and safety, you don't always do that as much. But if you feel like there's not a big drop-off between 1 and 2, you can cycle those guys more. So in the fourth quarter, your guys are out there and they're fresher. Offensively, we want to play fast. So the more two deep we are, especially at the skill positions, and where we feel like, hey, he needs a blow, he's in to start the series in the middle of the drive, and we don't really feel like we call plays differently or skip a beat, that's huge. We probably weren't there last year. And so, there were games when guys like Rasheed would play 90 plays. Hopefully we're not going to be in that situation. And so the guys help each other raise their level, but we can play them more and keep them fresh.
We don't have all the context about play design or the drills out there, but it looks like the defensive line is doing pretty well. Looks like they've got a really good interior pass rush as well. I guess, what have you seen from that group, and is this kind of building confidence with the guys you brought in for what this might look like in fall?
I think so. I think you got veteran guys like DeVere and Elijah who are doing a nice job, and then you got new guys like Jordan Miller in the inside. So those guys are really creating a nice internal push, both in the run game and in the pass game. On the edge, you add a guy like Elijah Roberts. Physically, you can see how that changes things. I think David Abiar is starting to come on with more opportunities now than he had a year ago. I do feel like we're much improved on the D-line. We still need to get a few guys back for depth, but I feel like we're going to run a first unit out there that is much improved. And look, at the end of the day, on both sides of the ball, it all starts up front. And a great D-line, whether it be stopping the run or in a pass rush, can make the secondary and that linebacker that much better. So it's looking good so far.
What have you seen from Jalen Knighton and LJ Johnson so far?
Yeah, good. I mean, Jalen, he knows he needs to hold on the football. But I think you see the explosion, the physicality, the experience. He hadn't caught a lot of balls yet, but he's proven over his career he can catch the ball. And then LJ, I've been really impressed. He runs really low to the ground. Both those guys have a really different running style, but both extremely productive. And they have a way of running forward, which is always a positive, and making their moves without going sideways. You know what I mean? Stopping their feet. They're always getting north-south, even when they're making cuts. And they're very decisive. You can tell they run confidently. They don't dance and tiptoe. They hit it. And I think so far those two guys, 10 practices in, have been really good.
Recruiting-wise, I mean, you guys had guys out here visiting throughout the spring, but the Friday night scrimmages, what's that atmosphere like to have recruits on campus, family around, and just the momentum you guys are continuing to
build? No, it's good. We try to change it up a little bit. We call it Friday Night Lights, but just a lot of colleges practice on Saturday mornings, and we did our first Saturday, I think. But Friday nights is just different for us. It is a different feel, whether you have a DJ out there, food trucks or whatever, all that stuff for the atmosphere and parents and all that. And, guys get a little excited for it, even though it's just on the practice field. And so it's a good atmosphere. We don't just full scrimmage. We have practice, have scrimmage. But I think it's just different, unique. There's very few colleges in our state that are practicing on Friday nights, so we're not really competing with guys that maybe want to come watch us practice. So it's been good.
Offensive line is an interesting position in the spring with a couple transfers that aren't here yet. Obviously, Justin not practicing. Mm-hmm. How much are you able to evaluate some of those positions, and then again, depth? How much does it help those guys that might not be starters get those 1 reps?
It's a ton. I mean, I think the guys like Branson Hickman and Marcus Bryant have been exactly what you'd hope, really steady guys who've played a lot of ball and we're going to count on. It's been great for Hiron White and PJ, like we've talked about. But I look at, Ben Sparks and Cam Irvin, even Dalton Purdue, we've kind of moved inside to guard, and they're getting a ton of reps when a J.O.'s out. We've got 2 commits that aren't here yet that'll be here in June in terms of transfers, and then we've also got 3 high school guys that aren't here. So, who knows who ends up starting on the insides, but if you're Cam and you're Ben Sparks, to get 15 straight practices basically as the starter, it's either going to prepare them for when injuries happen in the O-line or to be just really, really good depth pieces that we can plug in as the year goes on. You saw last year, it almost like a new starting lineup each week. We were actually fortunate it was never more than like 1 guy at a time. And so, it's been really good for those guys to get all those reps.
2 more for Coach.
Has there been a player that's pleasantly surprised you?
Oh, man.
Very open-ended.
Very, very. I don't know about a player. I'm going to say the unit that I've been pleased with a lot of things, but I think corner's we're just a lot different. You know, and I know Charles Woods has been out a few days. I think the first 7 practices you could see he's a veteran guy who's played a lot of college football, so he brings that to the table. I think you got a guy like Chris Megason coming in who's got a lot of games. So they got some really experienced pieces out there now, which is important. But I do think both A.J. Davis and Smoke, Jalen Davis Robinson, have shown the speed, the athleticism that they have. And so I think that whole group as a whole is just playing with a different level of confidence. You know, when the offense hits deep balls, they're contested, and they don't hit near as many as they have in the past. It's because we're better at corner, and that's a good thing for us. So, you know, AJ's, like I said, he's starting to flash. Ahmad Moses we talked about. So some of those young guys in the secondary have been a really pleasant surprise for us. Even though we brought in transfers, those guys are starting to pick it up, which is good.
Hard-hitting question for you. Who's your Masters pick?
Oh, man. Well, we got to go with the repeat hometown kid, right? Scotty Scheffler. You had one, right?
I was just going to say, just what's the importance of the last couple weeks of spring going into the spring game of just finishing strong? It looks like they've taken a step from the spring break.
Yeah.
Now going forward.
Kind of got out of the rut. Yeah, I think it's been good. We got, 4 more. I think my math's right on that. 4 or 5 more. And, you know, obviously, from a coaching standpoint, we just want to be healthy. You know, we've had a couple guys get nicked up. Nobody that should miss the season or anything at this point. So if we can get out of these next few practices healthy and then get the other guys back that had the off-season surgeries, that's kind of check one for us. But I think it's just continuing to build the foundation. You know, offensively, got to get back to playing fast. I think we're running the ball better. Can you protect the football? Defensively, I think you can see there's at least, it feels like there's a lot of improvement. We've been very simple on both sides of the ball from a schematic standpoint by design, so they can play and try to get those foundations set of running the ball, tackling, leveraging the ball on defense, those kind of things. So it's kind of a boring answer. I just hope we can continue to build on the things that matter that will show up in the fall and stay healthy. And I'll say nice Rangers hat, right? Yeah. Opening day. So hopefully they have a good season.
I was going to say that was going to be one of my questions until I saw your practice outfit. So
yeah, man. I mean,
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to support the home team, right? Opening day, we got the Phillies. And we got a new pitching staff, got a new manager, so it's all good. Stars are winning. Mavs need to close strong. Cowboys are out there. They may sign me here pretty soon, so you never know. But all good.
Helping you in your program be on the brink of national breakthrough.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a curveball on opening day. Let's go. Look, NIL. I mean, I think there was a big deal on Capitol Hill or whatever with Congress yesterday somewhere. It's here to stay. It's a good thing for student athletes to be able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness in our ever-growing industry of college football. As everyone knows, we're kind of disconnected from that. But fortunately, there are companies, collectives, as you would have it, that want to support schools everywhere, and we're fortunate to have people that care about the student athletes here. And so what it does is the importance of it is it allows you to compete legally with everyone else in college football, because that's the way our game's going over the last year and a half. It's not going to slow down. Maybe things tweak here or there, but it's here to stay. And probably the best thing I can say about NIL is EA Sports, hopefully, or somebody's going to bring back the college football game, and that'll make everybody happy.